Hello, friends. How you guys doing? Yes, I'm trying to look at this critical topic, and this is my second time of coming live on this channel. Most times I just make posts, but today I said I'm gonna go live to talk to my fans and appreciate people that have subscribed to my channel and people that have been supporting this channel. I truly appreciate you all, and I believe I'll be getting you alongside my updates and make sure that I bring topics that are related to what is happening in the world today. As you can see in my topic, I said that do not allow your emotions to overwhelm your sense of judgment. I've discovered that it has become a major problem in the world where people use emotions to make certain judgments. To me, that is wrong because we have basic ways of doing things. There are universal ways you can do things. Many people will appreciate what they are doing. But when you begin to allow your emotions to overwhelm your sense of judgment, you begin to get things wrong. Nobody knows it all. We are all learners. That's why we have that platitude to allow people to make their opinions, make their determinations. Sometimes people make informed decisions, sometimes people make the wrong ones. But who are you to now judge who is doing what he's doing? But this is a better position. So this is a better position for me. So a second, something, please, guys. Offended, just trying to arrange something. So this is a better position. So as I said earlier on, we shouldn't allow emotions to overwhelm our sense of judgment. I believe I've gone live at this point in time because the time now is this is 13 minutes past 2 in North America. I believe this should be 30 minutes past 8 o'clock in most West African countries where I hail from. So, guys, let's go straight to the business of today. Now, we have seen in many parts of the world where people make judgments based on sentiments, based on emotions, based on religion, based on culture, tradition, and what have you. Yes, we have the right to make informed decisions about what we think is right. But if you critically x-ray what is going on in the world, you see that people are not making informed decisions. Some people do not read. Some people do not study. They only depend on what they hear in public, what they hear in the legacy media, what they hear in some sources that might not be authentic in what they dish out to the public for consumption. So, for you to be informed in making decisions, you must make sure that the sources of your information are authentic so that you do not get misled. The legacy media is awash with all manners of politics, with all manners of vested interest from different people. Probably you want to watch a particular television or you want to watch a particular network. That network might have an agenda it is pursuing. So, whatever story that is coming from that network is tailored towards what they want people to hear, not the factual truth. They want you to hear a particular narrative that will suit the whims and caprices of that network. But if you want to get it right, you have to go to sources that are independent of one thing or the other so that you do not get confused as to what is real and what is unreal. So that is why the best sources of information are independent networks. Since the emergence of social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, which is X, Rumble, WhatsApp, Telegram, we have many sources of information. And most of those independent sources are always authentic and real because they want to truly tell people what is happening from around the world. But the legacy media is, so to say, there to elicit, just to portray what agenda they are trying to pursue. I want people to say she shouldn't go for B, blah, blah, blah. So once people watch all these legacy media networks, they begin to get confused. They do not know whether what is coming from those sources are true or wrong. They don't know. So that is why you must be able to diversify your tentacles towards independent networks, the podcasts, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, and what have you. Just listen. Sometimes you might still have fake news coming from those networks, but it is left for you to use your brain to rationalize what is being told. You must have a good standing with your thought process or thought processes as to how to, identify the information that is true and the one that is false. It is left for you to do that. I'm open to Charles, if you have any contribution you want to make, let me know by putting up your comments on the chat box, okay? So now I have from Nigeria in West African part of the Africa. In this country where I have from, we have so many views on political issues, socio-economic issues. People come with different standards of understanding, with their interpretation and what have you. But to me, I keep saying it, we have a baseline. Okay, we have a baseline through which we can identify what is true and what is false. Regrettably, in recent days, if you go to my verified handle on X, you could identify the way I think, the way I reason, the way I say things. I don't use the concept of bias to judge issues. I'm always unbiased. I'm trying to look things the way they are and come up with solutions, come up with advocacies that are rated. Even though you don't like what I'm saying, even though I don't like you, but we can still shift ground to come to the center to accommodate whatever views we have. That means everybody must be ready to accommodate eccentricism. Criticism is part of life. We don't know it all. And we all look at issues from different perspectives, with different standpoints. Some people will come with a religious mindset, some people will come with cultural, political, socio-economic concepts, to address those issues. But if we really want to live in a society that is free of rancor, free of hate and bigotry, what do we do? We have to look at things holistically based on knowledge and logic and common sense. What is good for Dick is good for Harry. What is good for Ganda is good for G's. So we must always be ready to do what is right for us to move our society forward. Nobody is a monopoly of knowledge. When you make mistakes, always be ready to accept your mistakes and tender apology. That means you can easily apologize when you go wrong on certain issues. You do not have to create that grandstanding that you know it all, that others don't know what they're doing. Even when they are wrong, there's a way you can correct them in love and respect. This is the way we should be doing in society where we have plural ethnic nationalities, you have different tribes, different religions, you have all manners of people working on the same planet Earth. But when you come, you want to impose your own philosophies on people that do not believe in your own philosophies. You begin to create friction, you begin to create hate and division in that society. And this is what is happening in my country called Nigeria. It also happens in other advanced countries. We must not know it all. Sometimes we have limited knowledge about certain issues. Sometimes we have unlimited knowledge about certain issues. It depends where you're coming from. It depends the standpoint at which you are watching these things. I believe my volume is I thought I may keep it this way. So if you want to really do what is right, always ensure that your emotions, your sentiments, your biases are kept at the backyard of your house. Come out clean, be that person that wants to do what is right. No matter whose us is God, do what is right, speak the truth. Do not be hypocritical. I know that the first law of nature is self-preservation. I know that everybody wants to preserve his identity, his culture, his religion, his pride. I understand. I understand. But you shouldn't do it in such a way that it will create hate and division among, because we have different tribes, we have different ethnicities, we have different nationalities all over the world. You have the Asians, you have the Americans, the the Arabs, the blacks, the middle this, middle that, with different mindsets and cultures and the cultural beliefs. If you look at the geopolitical nature of the world, you see that some countries are in alliance with certain countries. Some countries are forming a bloc with other countries to pursue a certain interest. It could be political, economic interest. Sometimes some countries feel that a particular country is trying to overshadow the events of the day, and they want to liberate to form their own alliances so that they can pursue their own socio-economic interests. We know all these things. It's not a new story, we know. But how do we come together as a people? One is to create that thin line of understanding, and to understand that no country, no family, no individual knows it all. It must be in alacrity to accept people's mistakes. And those people that are making those mistakes must be ready to apologize. Sometimes it is pride that is killing the world. If you go to certain countries where they have war, Ukraine versus Russia, Israel versus Hamas, what is causing this problem is lack of understanding of geopolitical, tendencies and aspirations of the many countries that are supporting each of the bloc. So for us to move forward as a people, since we have different races, we have different kinds of people in the world, what do? It's only peace that can solve our problems in the world. Insofar as we can divorce sentiments, divorce emotionalism from our fabrics and adopt the principle of loyalty, friendship, comradeship, and love. This is the only way we can move the world forward. There is trouble all over the place. There is conflict, as we all are praying, hoping that there won't be third world war, because the first world war, second are just child's play, because many countries have had these nuclear weapons, and nuclear weapons, are not something you play with. They are very, very devastating if they are used. So how do you solve these problems is to have a world peace where everybody will come together, even though you have been messed up, even though you have been treated badly. It's okay, let's come together as a people to solve our problems. Because naturally, the world has too many problems. We have economic instability, we have political instability in many countries of Africa. We have food shortages, you have starvation, hunger of many countries. If you come to my country, to feed now is a big trouble because of inflation, because of poor leadership and insecurity that is ravaging the many parts of the country. So when you have these issues, where do you think you can start solving them? It's not better we have peace so that we can focus on those ones that are difficult to solve, like natural disasters, um, problems that are arising from natural issues. But when we begin to create artificial problems for ourselves, it begins to compound into a level where people will no longer know what to do. Sometimes the government might get confused because you are controlling millions of people. Is this geopolitical zones or countries on this of the world? So you can't be having fragmentation, having friction, having trouble here and there, conflicts in the Middle Belt and in the Middle East, conflict in Russia and Ukraine, conflict between the Houthis, the Iranians. There are problems all over the world. And if these troubles or these problems are not managed well, this could lead to a large confrontation. It could lead to a large conflict that can swallow the continents of the world. Because any war that is fought within this period cannot be won by anybody. It cannot be won by any nation because many nations have very catastrophic, very devastating weaponry. That if these weapons are used on humanity, that will be the end of civilization. This is why I'm saying it. I don't know whether I'm making some points, but I believe what I'm saying is based on logic, common sense, and knowledge. Okay? So my today's topic still remains: you should not allow emotions to overwhelm your sense of judgment. So our judgment, the way we see things, the way we relate with people, relate with one another, should be predicated on knowledge, common sense, and logic. And if you look at this knowledge, you get it through reading, through interactions, through listening to the right information, reading the right books. Do not be religious, do not be culturally entangled with certain customs that are not well rated all over the world. Your custom might be okay, but do not impose your customs, your tradition on a certain people. I know where I live. I try to share the values of where I live. I try to abide by the rules, by the regulations, by the laws of the land, especially the constitution, which is the real book that controls the conduct, the behavior of the people of where I live. I must go by those standards. The Bill of Rights, the several amendments, I must go by those rules because I'm living in that particular area. I do not have any right to say otherwise, and I must abide by the laws of the land. If I go against the laws of the land, that means I'm looking for trouble. So, as any other person that goes to other nations of the world, if you go to United Arab Emirates or you go to Bangladesh or Singapore or India, you must play by the rule of those areas. You do not have to come with your culture. Now, yes, we are free to practice our religion, our culture, but do not impose your own culture on the people that accepted you as a visitor or as a guest. That is the way it should be. So I do not subscribe to acculturation so much. Acculturation is good because it can accommodate everybody, but do not impose yours on the people that received you as a guest. You can showcase your customs, as case may be to some large extent, but you don't have to make it a big deal that they must take yours because they that accepted you did not force you to accept their relics, customs, and traditions. So why must you now ask them to accept yours? It's a culturation. If they want to accept yours, that should be a smooth thing that will be done via dialogue, via mutual understanding. This is the way I'm seeing life. And if we can abide by these ethics and by these standards, by these proclamations, I don't think we have a problem in the world. The problem is that some people want to poke nose into somebody's affairs. Some people want to poke nose into certain scenarios. If you want to poke nose, make sure you are doing it, in such a way that it wouldn't create tension or create disrespect to the people we are trying to relate with. So our emotions must be guarded jealously to make sure that we are not offending sensibilities. We are not offending people that have given us the leeway to survive and do our business, live with one another in peace and in love and in respect. Because respect is reciprocal. If I respect you, you do not respect me. It becomes a problem. That is a single fact of life. So if I reciprocate your gestures, somebody call it gestures, you have to reciprocate as well. You do not expect me or expect a one-sided relationship. It must be balanced. Even when it's not balanced, let it be 60-40. But sometimes people want 80-20 relationship. Nobody is an island. Nobody is God. We've got to understand this fact that we are living on an earth temporarily and life is transient. So nobody has the monopoly, the unlimited knowledge to kind of control other people, telling them what to do and what they shouldn't do. We must do it in respect. We must do it in dignity. We must do it with love, so that we do not offend nations, we do not offend individuals, we do not offend corporate bodies and civil societies. But what I'm seeing in the current dispensation, especially in Nigeria, is something that is giving me some level of headache. That people I used to hold in high esteem, people I used to relate with, people I used to respect so much, are the same people thinking as if we're in the medieval era of the Stone Age world. I don't want to mention names, but there are some people in Nigeria that when I see what they are writing, what they are saying, the way they make their contributions, these things they say is not in line with best educational practice. It's always they are trying to relate with sentiments, with bigotry, with hate, say all manners of things in a very disrespectful manner. And I begin to ask questions, say, what's actually going on? Why are people flip-flopping? Because anybody that flip-flops is not stable. That's Bible is in the Bible that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You cannot be unstable. Yes, sometimes situations will make you to change your positions on policies, on socio-economic issues. I understand. But you can't just be flip-flopping as if you do not have principles. The basis of having argument is to come up with several points. Then we now extract them holistically, come up with the best parameters of those issues. You don't have to come and talk with sentiments just because you have a friend in so place who has been, targeted. Like recently, something happened in Nigeria. A young guy they call very black man, also known as VDM, challenged a Nigerian pastor that was selling miracle water, miracle soul, miracle stone, water from River Jordan, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, he even advertised on live sessions that those products had NAFDAC number. But this young guy had the audacity to challenge him and bought the water, caused some less privileged people, some people who have disabilities, and applied the water and did not work. Because if he had got the water and probably shared to people freely, nobody would have bothered. But he was selling these spiritual products, some $1,000, 500, blah, blah, blah. And people would buy these things without having the problem solved. So this young guy, VDM, took him to NAFDAC for him to explain how he arrived at these products. Instead of to explain and be humble to the young guy, he now filed a suit against VDM at the court of law and even claimed 1 billion naira damages. At the end of the day, it was the same person begging for BDM to forget the case. But BDM said, no, we must proceed. Let us know what's actually happening in that country. You know that what you're doing is wrong. It was after a serious fisticuff that NAFDAC now came out and said those products were not given NAFDAC number. They were unregistered products, hence public are warned not to use those products. It was because of VDM's effort that made the NAFDAC to even come out to make certain problems and issue a press conference towards the issue. So if one person had not arisen to challenge the status quo, that water would have been sold to people in pretense that the spiritual water, spiritual soap will heal them of their long suffering, poverty, illnesses, and what have you. But this is principally a deception to hoodwink people into believing that certain products can cure you. It's all fallacy. Yesterday, another group of religious leaders started to protest against the decision of NAFDAC and against the petition written by very dark black man. That why are they coming after spiritual products? That this country has the spiritual side of the country. We know. But if you want to say, by the way, I used to be a Catholic when I was much younger. We used to have holy water. They used to spray by the priest. Yeah, but they don't sell them. The moment you begin to sell a product, that product must have the potency, must have the ability to cure for whatever thing you must have attached to it is going to cure. When it first to do so, you have to be asked some tough questions. One, he said that NAFDAC gave the number. Number said no. That story was debunked. And some religious, instead of to support morality, they were supporting immorality by people that claim to be religious leaders in Nigeria. So these are the issues. So religion is part of the problem in Nigeria. In a bigger picture, religion is even more deadly in Nigeria than the politicians, because they use the Bible, use that posture as priest, as reverend father, as a man of God to, you know, to talk to the public as if they are talking to God, on one-on-one basis. He said, all right. All we are asking is, let us do what is right. If you are sick, go to the hospital. If you have a spiritual product, give it to people freely, because it's a spiritual product. We cannot, there's no way we can ascertain the efficiency or the effectiveness of that thing. But if once you say you have a that number, which the gentleman of a man said on live session, you go to his Facebook handle, you can see all those things, or you must have deleted them. But you go to other bloggers, the stories are there. So what is he trying to achieve? Even the religious are saying that he's being victimized. Who is what are the people he has been deceiving, selling those things to? Who must have died or has some issues or complications arising from the use of those fake products. I think I've done a noble to this topic today, and I wish you guys a very great day. And anytime I have a little chance, I'll come back live. For those of you who want to give me super chats, anything that comes to your mind. But the most important thing is for you guys to subscribe to my channel. Help me to grow more on this trajectory I've chosen. I want to make sure I participate in discussions, in discourse, anything that can improve our society. I'm able to do it. And I welcome all criticisms, all suggestions. I may not get it right most times. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. But when I get it wrong, you call my attention. I'm gonna apologize. That is life. I'm not a proud person. I'm a very humble person. But I do not tolerate travesty, stupidity, and things that I think will damage society as years go by. So I thank you all guys who have participated, who are going to watch this broadcast. I thank you guys so much. And try to subscribe to my channel, share, like, and make your comments as they fit by you. Thank you guys, and you have a good day. Bye for now. Cheers.